welcome back to another edition of Daisy's Do's. This video we're going to be doing these crochet braids, and I'm super excited to be bringing you guys these tutorials and impacting the skills with Runako Connect. We are celebrating Women's Month this month, and what better way to celebrate it by sharing skills with each other, by showing each other ways in which we can adorn ourselves. So if you think this may be something you may be interested in, then stay tuned. So of course we're going to be using the star of the show, the Marley kinky hair by Darling, which is light and chunky. I can attest to that. It is very versatile. You can use it for all sorts of things. I'll be using my scalp smoother by Dark and Lovely. You're going to need scissors for styling, and you of course need your crochet hook, which luckily you actually find in the packs that come from the Darling crochet hair. So this is how the hair looks. It's a really bouncy, and I really like that about it. And as you guys can see, it's a bit twisted in the ends. I'm going to show you guys how I will open it up to work for us. So with one strand, I'm just going to cut it in half. I'm trying to get a length sort of my hair length. I don't want it to be like super long, like unnatural, if you could say. So I'm just going to separate the hair. I recommend that you actually cut those ends, which I'm going to show you just now. You cut those ends first. You cut them first, and then you separate the chunkiness, if you could say. So you can separate it this way, which I found to be the easiest way. So I'm just going to show you guys that one more time. So I'm going to be recycling my wig cornrows. As you guys can see, there is no particular pattern. So I'm going to show you guys how I'm actually going to make parts with this particular braid pattern. So starting off with my Marley hair, I just took a little bit of hair. You don't want it to be too little though. You want it to be like a medium size, like the one I'm using, and I'm going to start crocheting. Crocheting is pretty easy. I'm going to show you guys just now how I do it in a more detailed manner. So what you do when you crochet is you take your cornrow, you put your hook under the cornrow, then you fold your hair, you put it inside the crochet hook. You want to close the crochet hook, and it's very important that you actually close it and then drag the hair under the cornrow so that it doesn't get tangled inside your cornrow. Then you just want to simply tie it. So I wrap it twice and then I tie a knot. So you don't have to really worry about double tying, because this is kinky hair, so the likelihood of it really falling out is very slim. So I'm going to be doing this for the rest of my back. So as you guys can see, I've left a huge gap at the back there. I'm doing this because kinky hair is going to become bulky, and that's why we actually wanted to open it up before using it. It will become bulky and just too much. Unless that's the kind of volume that you want, you can definitely start crocheting from the back, but I prefer to start crocheting at this point for the kind of shape that I'm going for. You also want to make sure that you're giving enough space between the cornrows, because of course these cornrows are tightly cornrowed close together, so it's very important that you make sure that you distribute this well. You also want to make sure that you are distributing it from end to end. You don't want to work on one side and then go on the other side, because you will have trouble with the distribution of your cornrows. So it's very important you do from one end to the next. So I showed you guys one method of crocheting your braids, but there's also another way that you actually crochet called the invisible method. You do this one on your parts so that it actually looks like it's coming out of your scalp and it doesn't actually look fake, right? So if you guys already know how my natural hair already looks, that is kind of the look that I am going for. And so I wouldn't want there to be a clear distinction between my hair and this crochet hair, right? I wouldn't want that. So I'm going to be showing you guys how I'll do the invisible method later on in the video. So now I'm going to be showing you guys how I make my part with this braid pattern. So basically you want to take two cornrows and you want to connect it with a smaller piece, and you want to create a knot, and that's basically it. So of course, if you want more parts, I'm only interested in having a middle part. You can actually do this for the rest of your parts. So I'm just going to do the rest of my hair, crochet the rest of my hair like normal. When you're going towards the front, a huge disclaimer, because you guys can see this hair is becoming very voluminous. You want to make sure you take smaller strands. So this is basically where I am now. And I'm now going to start taking those smaller pieces I told you about. And you also want to use that for the invisible method, which I'm going to be showing you guys now. So you're going to follow the same steps that I showed you before. But now when you do your knot, you only want to take one side of the hair and you want to tie it like that. So you want to, of course, make sure that you're taking those smaller strands and you are putting it over each other. You want to make sure that this part is very saturated so that it actually looks natural. So I'm just going to be trying to do that. This part was probably the longest part of this entire process because you really want to make sure that it looks super natural. So of course right now you're not going to immediately see it, but as we go towards the end of this video you will see it. So I'm just going to show you guys once again in slow-mo. So you want to open the loop of the crochet here. You take one leg of that crochet here, take one leg, separate it, and then put it in the loop and close it up. And that's basically how you do it. So I ended up becoming real fast with this. I got used to it after a little bit of practice, and then you actually see that it becomes like super easy. It becomes super easy after doing it a few times. I'm going to let you guys watch the rest of this. I just so that you can get an idea of what I mean by make sure that it's saturated. And then we're going to get into styling this hair, because you guys can see right now it's a little bit shapeless or whatever. So yeah, I'm going to let you guys see. Of course you want to make sure that you're going over some of the parts to fill in the gaps, right? And then yeah, so I'm going to of course let you guys watch, and then we will style this baby up. Okay. All right. So when cutting this, I found it easier for me to actually just pull all that hair together. As you guys can see, it's really like natural hair. It actually shrinks a little bit. Oh goodness, I really love this hair, guys, and you can see it really looks like my hair, only that this honestly has more volume than mine, I think. But yeah, so I'm just gonna start cutting those ends, and I just want to try and shave it off, not so much of just making a straight line, because of course that would look really blunt and ugly. So yeah, I'm gonna do this until I am happy with the shape. So queen, this brings us to the end of our tutorial. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe for more content like this. See you in the next one. Bye.